Hello, everybody. Scooty Double 7 here, bringing you another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. In today's game, we've got the 14 and 7 Cleveland Indians taking on the 8 and 13 Kansas City Royals. This is game 3 of a 3-game series between the Indians and the Royals. Indians looking for the clean sweep. Royals looking to avoid the sweep. And that's another one in the win column. Will they be able to do it? We'll find out in 9 innings time. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians. Leading off, the center fielder, Grady Sizemore. Batting second, the left fielder, David Dellucci. Batting third, the designated hitter, Travis Hefner. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Johnny Palatra. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Absol Cabrera. Batting seventh, the right fielder, Franklin Gutierrez. Batting eighth, the catcher, Kelly Stoppich. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Andy Marte. On the mound for the Royals, it is Brian Bannister, who will come and starts today's game with an ERA of a 6.65. He's got 1 win and 3 losses, 23 innings pitched, 25 hits, 14 strikeouts, and 9 walks. We're here at Kauffman Stadium, which gives a -1 to strikeouts and a -3 to walks. And with that, Grady Sizemore will step up into the batter's box as the home plate umpire dusts it off. He's batting a .286. And here is the first pitch of the game. And that is a 2-6. That's going to be a possible error on a throw. And that is going to be a 4-6. And that is going to be a base hit to German out there into set to past the second baseman. But we are going to check for the error rating. The error rating is the number in the bracket. That is a 7, the 11 there. No error committed. And with that, Grady Sizemore will get on with a base hit. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Kansas City Royals. Golan will be out there in left field. DeZeus will be in center field. Tihan out there in right field. Going around the horn, we've got Gordon on third. We've got Penna at playing short. German will be on second. Butler is at first. Buck behind the plate. And Bannister is on the mound. When we have a runner on base, we do roll for strategy. Strategy roll is an 8. Indians holding off on the strategy roll. No outs, runner on first. That's going to bring up David Dellucci. The infield is at double play depth. And here is the pitch for Dellucci. He's batting a .250. And that is going to be a 2-3. Column 2, row 3. That is going to be a walk. On a 1-4, the 15 is too high. Outside of the range for a walk, 1-4, column 1, row 4. That's going to be a pop-up to Butler. Butler sees it, goes back a little bit, makes the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Travis Hefner steps up now. He's batting a 169. Strategy roll is a 20. Anytime you roll a 20, it is a pick-off chance. A 1 on Brian Bannister's card is a balk. If we roll a 2, it's a pick-off. Anything higher than that, nothing happens. It's an 8. Nothing happens there. 1 out, runner on first. Infield still at double play depth. 6-2, column 6, row 2. That's going to be a strikeout. On a 1-13, the 20 is too high. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. And that is going to be a single out there in the center field. as it'll bloop right down in front of the Zeus. And with that, Sizemore will go to second. Hufner will be on first. We're going to roll for runner advancement, and that is a 6, and it tells us that all runners will hold. So strategy rolls a 1. It is a steal attempt for Sizemore. That's going to be a 19. They are going to send him. And that is a 3, and he'll go to third. And he'll safely go to third. That is a steal for another steal for Sizemore. And that's going to bring up Ryan Garko. Garko batting a 239 with runners now in the corners. Infield is in. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-5, column 2, row 5. That is a range play. Now, on a range play, we will check the number. Whose range are we checking? And that is going to be a 6-2. It's going to be a fly ball to the Zeus. His range is a 3. Now, with the update, a couple things have changed, and that is determining how players will advance, if they'll get a double or a single. We now roll a d20 instead of a d6. So on a 1 to 4, we still roll a d6 to determine for the range for the Zeus. He's a 1 to 3, that is a 5. But now on a 1 to 4, that is a double on a 20, and and if we roll a 5 to a 20, it becomes a single. So that is a double. And that is cannot make the catch. 1 run will score. Hafner will go to third. Garko goes to second. We're going to check for runner advancement. And on a 1, it tells us to check the 5. And on that 5, it says the lead runner will advance. So 2 runs were scored. Garko goes to Garko on second. Does he advance? No. Lead runner advances. If roll is higher, the trailing runner holds. Garko holds, and 2 runs will score on an RBI double by Garko. And next up, it's Johnny Palatra. He's batting a 360. Strategy roll is a 20. Once again, if it's a 1, it's a balk. 2 is a pickoff. It's a 6. Nothing happens. Infield normal depth, and that's going to be a 6-2. Column 6, row 2. Strikeout on a 1 to 10. 17 is too high. Nothing happens. 6-3, column 6, row 3. It's a fly ball back there to the Zeus. He goes back, sees it, makes the catch. And that'll be 2 away, and Garko will hold at second. On a ball hit to F8, we subtract 1 from the base run rating. Then we roll 1d6 against that rating. And if the roll is less than or equal to the adjusted base running rating, he would advance to third, otherwise holds. And that is exactly what he does. Strategy roll is a 9, and with 2 outs, we add a +1 to the base run rating. Absul Cabrera batting a 238, and here is the pitch. Infield at normal depth, and that is going to be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. That is a blank. Cabrera, 4-2, column 4, row 2, and that's going to be a fly ball back there to the Zeus. He'll go back, make the catch. And that will retire the side. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and the Indians will leave 1 stranded. We go to the bottom of the first, and here is the starting lineup for the Kansas City Royals. Leading off, the center fielder, David DeZeus. Batting second, the second baseman, Esteban German. Batting third, the right fielder, Mark Tejan. Batting fourth in the cleanup position, the left fielder, Jose Gullin. Batting fifth, the first baseman, Billy Butler. Batting sixth, the third baseman, Alex Gordon. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Miguel Olivo. Batting eighth, the catcher, John Buck. And batting ninth, the shortstop, Tony F. Penna. On the mound for the Indians, it is Cliff Lee. He'll start today's game with an ERA of a 4.95. He's got 1 win and 1 loss. He's pitched 20 innings, allowed 23 hits, 14 strikeouts, and 5 walks. And with that, David DeZeus batting a 241. And here is the pitch. 2-5, column 2, row 5, and that's going to be a possible error on a ground ball. Whose error range are we checking? And that is going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6, and that is going to be a single down the first baseline to Garko. And error range for Garko is a 3. That is a 7. There is no error there. He'll make, and with that, the Zeus will lead off with a base hit. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Cleveland Indians. DeLucci will be out there in left field. Sizemore at center. Gutierrez will be at right, going around the horn. Marte on third. Palach will be at short. Cabrera on second. Garko at first. Stoppage will be behind the plate. And Lee will be on the mound. Strategy roll is a 13, and the Royals will hold off on the strategy roll. Double play depth for the infield. Esteban German batting a 200 right on the Mendoza line. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. That is a strikeout on a 1-8. The 16 is too high. And that is going to be a 3-4, column 3, row 4. It's a ground ball to Cabrera, and we will check for a double play. And with that, it'll be a +1, +1. That makes it a 2. Ground double play rating is a 5. We take 1d6, the pivot being Palatra. We take 1d6, roll it against the ground double play rating. That is a 2. It is less than 5, and that becomes a double play. They turn it. It becomes a 4-6-3 double play. And that is a 4-6-3 double play, and that clears the bases, and that's going to bring up Mark Teon batting a 247, and here is the pitch. 2 quick outs, 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a blank, and that is going to be a 2-3, column 2, row 3. Power hit to Sizemore. So power hit on a that is an 18, and that is on a 13-20, it'd be a fly out. So on a 1-6, it's a single. 7-10 would be a double. 11-12, a triple. 13-20, it's a fly out. And with that, Sizemore gets under it, makes the catch, and retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and none left on for the Royals. After 1, Indians 1, Royals nothing. We go to the top of the second. Franklin Gutierrez, Kelly Stoppage, and Andy Marte due up for the Tribe. Franklin Gutierrez batting a 267, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 4-5, column 4, row 5, at the ballpark. So anytime you roll the at symbol as your result, you'll resolve the play using the ballpark card. So with that, we will go to Kauffman Stadium, a 3-1, column 3, row 1, double star 5, and that is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. Penna will get that, throw it over to Butler. And that'll be out number 1. 1 away, and that's going to bring up Kelly Stoppage. He's batting a 348, and here is the pitch. 2-4, column 2, row 4, range play. Whose range are we checking? And that's going to be a 2-2, fly ball to Goulden. His range is on a 1-2. That is a 3. That's going to be good for the roll is an 18, and that's going to be good for a single. And with that, Kelly Stoppage will get on with a base hit. Golan 3 for 5 on his range plays. He's 60%. Strategy roll is a 9, and that's going to bring up Andy Marte batting a 125. And here is the pitch. Marte 4-3, column 4, row 3, double question mark, double star and a 1-14, 17, too high, outside of the range. And with that, we're going to roll. It's a 6-6. That's going to be a fly ball back there to Golan. Golan will make the catch. And that'll put one away. Two away, sorry. Two away, and we'll go to the top of the order. Grady Sizemore, who's 1 for 1 with a run scored. Strategy roll is a 1, infield at normal depth. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 4-3, column 4, row 3, double question mark, single on a 1-15. That is a 6, and that's going to be good for a base hit past the pitcher. Stoppage will go to second. The stump sign goes up. He would advance from first to third on a base run rating of a 4 through 6, and that is a 3. So runners right now on first and second. David DeLucci up. DeLucci 0 for 1. Strategy roll 13, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-6, column 6, row 6, and that is going to be a strikeout. On a 1-11, that is a 4. Struck him out. Struck him out, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 1 left on and 2 left on, for the Indians. We go to the bottom of the second. It's going to be Jose Golan, Billy Butler, and Alex Gordon due up for the Royals. And with that, Jose Golan batting a 286. And here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-2, column 3, row 2. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 6-3, column 6, row 3. It's a ground ball down the first baseline to Garco. Garco will make the catch. Gets it, tags the base, and puts 1 away. Billy Butler batting a 200, and here is the pitch. 4-4, column 4, row 4, at the ballpark. We're going to go to Kauffman Stadium, and that is going to be a 4-3, column 4, row 3, double start 2, fly ball back there to Gutierrez. Gutierrez goes back, makes the catch, and puts 2 away. Alex Gordon batting a 244, and here is the pitch. 3-4, column 3, row 4. Now that is a split. On a split result, Alex Gordon batting left, so we will look to the left-handed side of the result. That is a blank. Golan, and that is going to be a 3-2, column 3, row 2, fly ball back there to Sizemore. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. It's 3 up, 3 down as the Indians retire the Royals in order. After 2, it's Cleveland 2, Kansas City nothing. We go to the top of the third. It's Travis Hefner, Ryan Garco, and Johnny Pilatra due up for the Tribe. Travis Hefner 1 for 1 with a run scored. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-1, column 2, row 1 at the ballpark. We're going to go to Kauffman Stadium, 6-2, column 6, row 2, fly ball back there to Tion. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Ryan Garco 1 for 1 with a double and 2 RBIs. And here is the pitch. 3-1, column 3, row 1. That is a blank. 6-6, column 6, row 6. Double star 2, that's going to be a fly ball back there to the Zeus. The Zeus goes back, makes the catch, and puts 2 away. Johnny Palatra 0 for 1, and the pitch. 2-5, column 2, row 5, range play. Whose range are we checking? 1-4, column 1, row 4. Fly ball back to the goal, and his range is on a 1-2. It's a 6. We'll roll the D20. That is an 11. That's going to be good for a base hit. And with that, Johnny Palatra will get on with a base hit. Goulin now 3 for 6 on his range plays. Strategy roll is a 12. Indians holding off, standing pat. Cabrera up. He's 0 for 1. And here is the pitch. Cabrera 2-2, column 2, row 2, blank. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6, double star 5. It's a ground ball to Penna. Penna will make the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the Indians will leave 1 stranded. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Miguel Olivo, John Buck, and Tony F. Penna due up for the Royals. Miguel Olivo batting a 176, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2. It's a wild pitch. No runners on. We're going to roll for the batter. And that is going to be a 4-3, column 4, row 3. It's a ground ball to Garco. And that'll be 1 away. So that was one of the new rule changes now in the new, with the update to the software. As you can see, we do have a little bit of an update to the overlay here for Inside Pitch on the PC, but the gameplay is still the same. John Buck batting a 226, but don't worry, I will still walk you through every play and every roll of the dice from here on out. John Buck batting a 226, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6. That is a strikeout. On a 1-15, that is a 9. Struck him out. And that's going to be 2 away, and that's going to bring up Tony F. Penna. Penna batting a 206, and here is the pitch. 4-1, column 4, row 1. That's going to be a blank. And that's going to be a 2-1, column 2, row 1, double star 6. That's going to be a fly ball back there to Sizemore. Sizemore makes the catch. And that will retire the side. So the Royals once again go down in order. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 3, it's Indians 2, Royals nothing. We go to the top of the 4th. Franklin Gutierrez, Kelly Stoppage, and Andy Marte due up for the Indians. Franklin Gutierrez, 0 for 1, and here is the pitch. 4-2, column 4, row 2, strikeout. On a 1-10, the 20 is too high. 3-5, column 3, row 5, ground ball down the 3rd baseline to Gordon. Gordon will make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Kelly Stoppage is up. Stoppage is 1 for 1 today, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-5, column 6, row 5, strikeout. On a 1-18, that is a 2. Struck him out. And that is going to bring up Andy Marte. Marte is 0 for 1. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 5-2. Column 5, row 2. It's a wild pitch. No runners on. So what we used to do is when we got a wild pitch, it was considered a foul ball, and we would re-roll the die. Now with no runners on, we do roll for the batter. So that was one of the changes. Took away the foul ball from a wild pitch. And that is going to be a 2-4. Column 2, row 4, double star 1. Fly ball back there to Golan. And Golan will make the catch. And that will retire the side. So the Royals making quick work of the Indians. They go down in order. No runs, no hits, and no errors. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and it's the top of the order for the Royals. David DeZeus, Esteban German, and Mark Tejan due up for the Royals. David DeZeus, 1 for 1, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 1-6. Column 1, row 6, strikeout on a 1-4. The 19 is too high. And that's going to be a 4-1. Column 4, row 1. That's going to be a base hit out there in the left field. The Zeus misjudges that. And with that, the Zeus will get on with, leads off with a base hit. Infield at double play depth. Strategy roll is at 10. Royals holding off, and that's going to bring up Esteban German. German is 0 for 1 today. Infield at double play depth, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 3-5, column 3, row 5. That is a strikeout on a 1-8. That is a 3. Struck him out. And that'll put 1 away, and that's going to bring up Mark Tejan. Tejan is 0 for 1, and here is the pitch. That is going to be a 6-6, column 6, row 6. That is a strikeout on a 1-13. That is a 12. Struck him out. So 2 away. That is a steal attempt. The Zeus is left. That's going to be a -1. That makes it an 11. With 2 outs, they're not going to send him. They're not going to send him on the steal. Here's the pitch. Golan. 1-1, column 1, row 1. That is a strikeout on a 1-9. That is a 6. Struck him out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they'll leave 1 stranded. We go to the top of the after 4. It's Cleveland 2, Royals nothing. We'll go to the top of the 5th. It's Grady Sizemore, David DeZeus, and Travis Hefner due up for the Indians, top of the order. Grady Sizemore 2 for 2 today with a run scored, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. Sizemore being a left-handed batter, so we'll look to the left-handed side of the slash. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3. That's going to be good for a base hit out there in the left field. Golan can't make the play in time. Also hit a blooper into the left field. So with that, Sizemore will lead off with a base hit. And that's going to bring up David DeLucci. 0 for 2 with a strikeout, strategy roll 9, and the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, strikeout on a 1-11. The 15 is too high. Also, one of the new changes to the card, we used to have a W in the bracket along with the K. So when the pitcher gets tired, we used to have a K and then the bracket would say W for a walk. It is now changed to a home run. On that 2-1, column 2, row 1, that's going to be a ground ball to Butler. Butler will make the catch. And with that, we'll check 1. That is a 2. That's going to be good for a double play. The pivot being the shortstop, so Penna. And that is going to be a 3-6 double play. It's going to be a 3-6-3 double play. So there we go. It's a 3-6-3 double play. Butler throws it to Penna, tags the base, throws it back to Butler. They get the double play. Hefner is 1 for 2 today with a run scored, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6, possible error on a throw. And that is going to be a 5-4, column 5, row 4. That is a double out there into center field. Error range for the Zeus on a 1-2. That is a 4. And remember, it's a throwing error only applicable if rolling for runner or advancement. Otherwise, no error. And with that, Hafner is on with a double. So that's going to bring up Ryan Garko. Garko, 1 for 2 today with a double and an RBI. Strategy roll is an 8. Indians holding off, and here is the pitch. Infield, by the way, normal depth. And that's going to be a 6-5, column 6, row 5, and that's going to be a strikeout. On a 1-9, the 14 is too high. 3-1, column 3, row 1, double star 4, and that's going to be a ground ball to German. German will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 1 left on for the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Billy Butler, Alex Gordon, and Miguel Olivo due up for the Royals. Billy Butler, 0 for 1 today, and here is the pitch. 1-3, column 1, row 3. That is a strikeout. On a 1-5, the 12 is too high. 1-1, column 1, row 1, and that's going to be a fly ball back there to Gutierrez. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Alex Gordon, 0 for 1, and the pitch. 4-1, column 4, row 1. That is a blank. Alex Gordon, 3-5, column 3, row 5. Line drive to Cabrera. Cabrera will make the catch, and that puts 2 away. Miguel Olivo, 0 for 1, and here is the pitch. 2 up, 2 down. And that's going to be a 2-1, column 2, row 1. That is a hit by pitch. Cliff Lee will give a -4. That makes it a 3. The 13 is too high. So does not get hit by the pitch. It's going to be a 2-3. Column 2, row 3, double star 6. And that is going to be a fly ball back there to Sizemore. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, no hits, and no errors as the Indians retire the Royals in order. 3 up, 3 down. Nothing across the board there. A very easy inning to score. After 5, it's Indians 2, Royals nothing. We go to the top of the 6th. It's going to be Johnny Palatra, Absur Cabrera, and Franklin Gutierrez due up for the Indians. Johnny Palatra is 1 for 2 today. And taking a look here at Brian Bannister, he can face 3 more batters before he's considered tired. 2-4, column 2, row 4. That's going to be a range play. Whose range are we checking? And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2. Fly ball to Golan. Golan's been getting a lot of the range plays today in today's game. His range is on a 1-2. That is a 6, and that's going to be good for a single. And with that, Palatra will lead off with a base hit. That makes him now 3 for 7 on range plays, 2 errors committed so far in the replay. Absur Cabrera, who is 0 for 2. Strategy roll is a 4, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, strikeout on a 1-11. That is an 11. Struck him out. Struck him out on a full count. And it'll go down swinging 1 away, and that's going to bring up Franklin Gutierrez, who is 0 for 2, runner on first. Strategy roll is a 10 with the infield at double play depth, and here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 1-2, column 1, row 2. That's going to be a walk on a 1-6. The 7 is too high. 2-4, column 2, row 4, base hit into right field past Tejan. And with that, Palatra will go to second, Gutierrez on first, and we'll check for runner advancement. We roll 1, so we'll check the second eye here. Lead runner advances, so with that, Palatra will advance to third. We'll check, does Gutierrez pick up an extra base on that hit? If the roll is less than, that is a 2. The base run rating is a 3. If the roll is less than or equal to the trailing runner's BR, the trailing runner advances on the throw. Gutierrez's base run rating is a 3. The white die, which is the one we're going to check, is a 1. It is less than, so Gutierrez will pick up a extra base, and he will go to second. And with that, Bannister now tired. Bullpen for the Royals, starting to warm up. And with that, Kelly Stoppage will come up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today with a strikeout. And here is the pitch. However, this is, now he is tired. So if we were to roll a 1-6, a 4-3, or a 6-6, we now take a look at the thing in the bracket, because now with that is a home run. Home run ranges on a 1-20. That is a 6. And kaboom! That ball is high. That ball is deep. And that ball is out of here. It's a 3-run home run for Kelly Stoppage. As he'll smack it down the right field side, Tian goes back, and that ball is into the fountains here at Kauffman Stadium. It is now 5-0 Indians. And with that, here comes the manager. The call to the bullpen for the Royals has been made. And with that, they're going to bring in Ramirez. So that is his card. Ramirez will now come into the game. And with that, Andy Marte, batting it, who is 0 for 2, will step up. Ramirez, we really haven't seen much of him. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 strikeout, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Brian Bannister, he pitched 5 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run, and ERA of a 6.99. And with that, Ramirez done warming up. Andy Marte, here's the pitch. He's 0 for 2. No outs and 1 out, nobody on. And that is going to be a 4-2. Column 4, row 2. That is a blank. Not tired yet. 2-3. Column 2, row 3. Double star 5, and that's going to be a fly ball back there to Gullin, who will make the catch. And that'll put 2 away, and we go to the top of the order. Grady Sizemore, 3 for 3 today with a run scored. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 2-5. Column 2, row 5. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 1-6. Column 1, row 6. Base hit down the first baseline past Butler. And with that, Sizemore will get on with a base hit. David DeLucci is up. DeLucci is 0 for 3, and here is the pitch with a strikeout. And that is going to be a 4-2. Column 4, row 2, blank. And that's going to be a 2-1. Column 2, row 1, and that's going to be a ground ball to Butler. Butler will make the catch. And that will retire the side. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and 1 left on for the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 6th. John Buck, Tony F. Penna, and David DeZeus due up for the Royals. John Buck, 0 for 1 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 4-5. Column 4, row 5, strikeout on a 1-15 to 16, just outside of the range. And that is going to be a 2-4. Column 2, row 4, and that's going to be good for a base hit down the third baseline. And with that, Buck will lead off with a base hit. Tony F. Penna is 0 for 1. No strategy rolls are turned off, and the reason they're turned off is we take the difference in the score. It is a 5-run game right now in favor of the Indians. We take the 5, add it to the inning that we are in. We're in the 6th inning, so 5 plus 6 is 11. If the number you get after you add the difference of the score to the inning you are in, if the number is higher than 10, strategy rolls are turned off until you bring that number down. Tony F. Penna is 0 for 1, and the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-5. Column 2, row 5. Possible error on a ground ball. And that is going to be a 2-1. Column 2, row 1. Double star 6. It's going to be a fly ball to Sizemore. As we take a look at the double star line, come over to the 6th position on the auto outline, and that's going to be a fly ball to Sizemore. One away, runner on first, infield still at normal depth. We go to the top of the order. David DeZeus, 2 for 2, and here is the pitch. 3-3, column 3, row 3. Home run chance on a 1-6. The 10 is too high. And that's going to be a 3-4, column 3, row 4, double star 2. It's a fly ball back there to Gutierrez, and Gutierrez will make the catch, and that puts 2 away. 2 up, 2 down, and Esteban German is up. German 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. 2-2, column 2, row 2, strikeout. Remember, with 2 outs, a +1 is given to the base run rating. Strikeout range 1 to 8, 18 too high. And that is going to be a 4-2, column 4, row 2, base hit past the second baseman to Cabrera. And with that, Buck will go to second, but does he go to third? He will advance from first to third on a base run rating of a 3 through 6. That is a 3. And he will advance. So runners now in the corners for the Royals. Tian is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Cliff Lee can face 9 more batters before he's considered tired. And here is the pitch. 4-1, column 4, row 1. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 4-3, column 4, row 3. That's a fly ball back there to Gutierrez. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 2 left on for the Royals. After 6, it's Indians 5, Royals nothing. We go to the top of the 7th. Travis Hefner, Ryan Garko, and Johnny Palantra due up for the Royals. And with that, we do have a new pitcher on the mound for the Royals. And they're going to bring in Yasuhiko Yabuta. Yabuta will come in. Comes into the game with a 7.20 ERA. No wins and 1 loss. He's pitched 5 innings, allowed 7 hits, 5 strikeouts, and no walks. Take a look at the stats here for Ramirez. He went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit, no ERA. And Yabuta does have a special K rating. We will talk about that when it comes into play. Travis Hefner, 2 for 3 today with a double and a run scored. And here is the pitch. And that is going to be a 6-2. Column 6, row 2, walk plus. So on a walk plus, we add 10 to the walk. We add a 10 to that range. That makes it a 16 minus 3. So 10 minus 3 is 7. We add 7 to that range. That makes it a 16. That is a 12. That is in range, and that is going to be good for a walk. And with that, Hefner will walk. Ryan Garko is 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2, and that's going to be another walk on a 1-19. That's a 15. That's going to be good for a walk. So he'll walk the first 2 up. Johnny Palantra, 2 for 3. And that's going to be a 3-5. Column 3, row 5. That's going to be good for a base hit. And with that, Hafner will go to third. Has waved around home on a 2 through 6. That is a He'll go from second to home on a 2 through 6. That is a 1, and he'll hold. Cabrera 0 for 3 with a strikeout and the pitch. That's going to be a 6-6. Column 6, row 6. And with that, Cabrera being a switch hitter, so he's batting left. That is a strikeout on a 1 to 11. That is a 1. Struck him out. And that'll put 1 away. And that'll bring up Franklin Gutierrez. Gutierrez 1 for 3. And here is the pitch. 2-3, column 2, row 3, wild pitch. On a 1 to 9, it's a wild pitch. On a 10 to 11, it's a passed ball. It's a 19, nothing happens. Special K now comes into play. That is an 8 on a 1 to 4, nothing happens there. It's a ground ball to Gordon. Gordon will make the catch. And will the defense try for the double play? They are. And with that, it's going to be a fielder's choice. Ground double play rating is a 4. That with the +1. Jarman is a 0. That is a 5. That is a 4. It is going to be a fielder's choice. Runner on third. If the roll is greater than runner on third, then force out runner on third, bases loaded. So that is going to be, the roll is greater, runner on third BR, then force out at home. So that's going to be a force out if I'm, because I'm reading that right. So they'll force him out. Garco will go to there, and Pilatra is out as well. So Singh, take me out to the ball game. It's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they do leave 1 stranded. We go to the bottom of, let's take a look at the box score after 6.5 had been played here at Kauffman Stadium. Indians scored 3 runs, 2 runs in the second, 3 runs in the sixth, 5 runs on 13 hits and no errors. Kansas City right now been shut out on 6.5, no runs on 4 hits and no errors, 17 hits total between both teams. Cliff Lee can face 8 more batters. It's Jose Golan, Billy Butler, and Alex Gordon due up for the Royals. Jose Golan is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 5-1, column 5, row 1. It's a range play. Whose range are we checking? And that's going to be a 4-5, column 4, row 5, double star 4. It's going to be a ground ball to Marte. Marte's range is on a 1 to 4. That is a 4. He'll make the catch, throw it over to Garco. And the play is in time, and that'll be 1 away. Billy Butler, 0 for 2, and here is the pitch. Butler 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 6-5. Column 6, row 5. That's going to be good for a base hit out there in the center field. And with that, Butler is on with a base hit. That was strange. Alex Gordon up. That was, oh wow, that is strange. It called an out for somebody on the other team. 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 3-4. That's going to be a double to DeLucci. DeLucci goes back, can't make it. It's going to hop off the wall. And with that, Butler will go to third. He will hold. And a runner with runners now in scoring position, Miguel Olivo is up. He is 0 for 2. And here is the pitch. 2-6, column 2, row 6, strikeout on a 1-14. That is a 14. Struck him out. And that will retire the side. So no runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 2 left on. We go to the after 7. It's Indians 5, Royals 0. We go to the top of the 8th. Kelly stoppage, Andy Marte and Grady Sizemore due up for the Indians. And with that, Yoshihiro Yabuta is done. And they are going to bring in Leo Nunez. Nunez going to come in, no ERA there. He's pitched 6 2/3 innings, allowed 2 hits, 4 strikeouts, and no walks. Taking a look at the stats for Yabuta, he went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout, an ERA of a 6.0. Kelly Stoppage, 2 for 3 today with a home run, a strikeout, a run, and it's been a 3 RBI day for him. And here is the pitch. 6-1, column 6, row 1. That is a blank. Stoppage 4-4, column 4, row 4. That's going to be good for a base hit out there in the center field, as Stoppage will get on with a base hit. Andy Marte up. Marte is 0 for 3. Are they going to let Marte take the hit? They are. Marte going to take the hit, and here is the pitch. Marte, 5-2, column 5, row 2. That's going to be a walk. On a 1-3, the 19 is too high. And that's going to be a 5-3, column 5, row 3. That's a pop-up. Butler gets underneath it, makes the catch, and puts one away. And with that, we go to the top of the order. Grady Sizemore 4 for 4 with a run scored, and here is the pitch. 6-1, column 6, row 1, that is a blank. 4-1, column 4, row 1, that's going to be a line drive up the middle to Nunez. Nunez will make the catch. And no double play there, so it's going to be 1 out. The play would have been at third for that. So 2 outs and a runner on first, and that's going to bring up David Dellucci. Dellucci is 0 for 4. Dellucci going to take the hit here, and here is the pitch. 1-6, column 1, row 6, and that's going to be a strikeout on a 1-11. The 20 is too high. And that's going to be a 4-1, column 4, row 1. Double start 2. It's a fly ball back there to the Zeus. The Zeus will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So no runs, 1 hit, and no errors, and 1 left on for the Indians. We go to the bottom of the 8th. John Buck, Tony F. Penna, and David DeZeus due up. Cliff Lee can face 4 more batters, and with that, Garco is done at first base. So with that, we're going to bring in Andy Gonzalez to take over at first. So Gonzalez will stay there. Cliff Lee is still looking strong. They're going to keep him on the mound. John Buck, 1 for 2 today with a strikeout. Buck going to take the hit? He is. And that is going to be a 2-6, column 2, row 6, strikeout on a 1-15. That is a 3. Struck him out. Tony F. Penna is 0 for 2. He's going to take the hit here. And here is the pitch to Penna. And that is going to be a 5-6, column 5, row 6. Possible error on a throw. And that's going to be a 6-2, column 6, row 2. Base hit to Gutierrez. And that'll plop right in front of him. And that is a throwing error. He throws it away. That is a 2. Error range is a 1. No, and that is an error. It's a 1 base error. And with that, Penna will pick up second as Gutierrez, when he goes to throw it to Cabrera, he throws it wide. And with that, they're going to bring in Mike Alavis will come in to pinch run. And we go to the top of the order. David DeZeus, who's 2 for 3. They're going to let him take the hit, and here is the pitch. Runner in scoring position. That's going to be a 5-5. Column 5, row 5. Range play at the ballpark. We're going to go to Kauffman Stadium, and that's going to be a 6-5. Column 6, row 5. Fly ball back there to Dellucci. His range is on a 1-3. It's a 5. Dellucci can't make the catch in time, and that's going to be good for a base hit. And we'll have runners on the corners. Mike goes to third. Stop sign goes up. And with that, Esteban German, who is 1 for 3 with a strikeout, they are not going to let him take the hit. And they are going to bring in so German not going to take the hit. They're going to bring in Jason Smith. Smith going to take the hit here, and here is the pitch. 2-3, column 2, row 3. That is a blank. And that's going to be a 2-1, column 2, row 1. That's going to be good for a base hit out there in the center field. And that'll score a run, and the Royals will avoid the shutout. It's 5-1 Royals. Cliff Lee tired, but they are going to give him the one more. And with that, it's going to be Mark Tehan due up. Tehan, here's the pitch. And that's going to be a 6-1, column 6, row 1. And that's going to be good for a base hit. Lee tired. Base hit, the Zeus will go to third. He's waved around home. He'll go from second to home on a base run rating of a 2-6. That is a 3. He will score. And with that, here comes the Cleveland's skipper. They are going to pull him, and we're going to go to the bullpen. And with that, they're going to bring in Edward Mujisa. Mujisa comes into the game with a 1.91 ERA. 1 win, no loss. He's pitched 4 2/3 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Cliff Lee, he went 7 1/3 of an inning, allowed 10 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, an ERA of a 4.28. And with that, Jose Guillen due up. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 3-6, column 3, row 6, possible error. And that's going to be a 1-6, column 1, row 6, ground ball to Palatra. His error range is on a 1 to 5. It's a 10, no error there. He'll make the catch. Double play rating, Smith, that is a 1. That is in double play territory. So Smith will go to third on that. 1-1. Double play rating is a 0. That is a 5. 1d6 rolled against the 5. That is a double play. And with that, that'll double play to get out of the inning there. And with that, at second base, Jason Smith's going to take over at second. And at shortstop, Mike Avelis will take over at short. So 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error, and 1 left on for the Royals. After 8, it's Cleveland 5, Royals 2. We go to the top of the ninth. Travis Hefner, Andy Gonzalez, and Johnny Palatra due up for the Tribe. Let's take a look at the box score after 8 have been played. Cleveland scoring 2 runs in the first, 3 runs in the 6th inning, 5 runs on 14 hits, and they've only committed 1 error. Kansas City scored 2 runs in the 8th. They avoided the shutout, 2 runs on 10 hits, and no errors. And with that, Leo Nunez done. So we do have a new pitcher on the mound for the Royals. And they're going to bring in Joe Pilatra for this one. So Joe Pilatra will come into the game with a 4.50 ERA. He's pitched 10 innings, allowed 10 hits, 8 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Taking a look at the stats here for Leo Nunez, he went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 1 strike. 1 hit, no ERA. So 3, 4, and 5 due up in the lineup. Butler done as well over at first base. And with that, Ron Shelley will take over at first. So Travis, and with that, Hefner, 2 for 3 today with a double, a run, and a walk. And here is the pitch. Pilatra does have a special K. Remember, we will talk about that when that comes up. 3-5, column 3, row 5. Possible error on a ground ball. Special K rating on a 1 to 4, that is a 20 outside of the range. Papa 3-5, column 3, row 5. It's going to be a pop up to Shelley. He'll make the catch, and that'll put 1 away. Andy Gonzalez. Gonzalez due up, and here is the pitch. And that's going to be a 2-3, column 2, row 3, range play at the ballpark. We're going to go to Kauffman Stadium. That is a 3. On a 1 to 3, that is a special K. Struck him out. And Johnny Pilatra, 3 for 4 today with a run scored, 2 up, 2 down. And that's going to be a 6-4, column 6, row 4. Possible error on a 5 outside of the range of the special K. 4-2, column 4, row 2. It's a fly ball to Goulin. He'll make the catch. Error range for Goulin is a 1 to 3, no error there. And that will retire the side. So the Royals retire the Indians in order, 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Ryan Shelley, Alex Gordon, and Miguel Olivo due up for the Royals. And with that, we are going to go to the bullpen. And with that, they're going to bring in Jensen Lewis. Lewis with the coming in for the save. He'll come into the game with a 3.25 ERA. 3 saves, 8 and 1/3 of an inning, allowed 6 hits, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks. Taking a look at the stats here for Edward. Edward went 2/3 of an inning, no earned runs, an ERA of a 1.70. And with that, it's going to be 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Royals lineup. Ryan Shelley, and here is the pitch. 2-1, column 2, row 1. That is a blank. And that is going to be a 2-2, column 2, row 2. Ground ball to Palatra. He'll make the catch. And 1 away. Alex Gordon, 1 for 3 with a double. 4-4, column 4, row 4. Strikeout on a 1-12. That is a 2. Struck him out. And the Royals are now down to the last out. Miguel Olivo, 0 for 3. Olivo not going to take the hit here. They're going to bring in Kalia to come in and pinch hit. Try to keep the inning alive. He's batting at .333. 1-1, column 1, row 1, strikeout. On a 1-4, the 8 is too high. And that is going to be a 5-2, column 5, row 2. That's going to be good for a base hit past the shortstop. And Kilo will get on with a base hit. John Buck, 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and here is the pitch. Buck, 3-5, column 3, row 5 on a 1-2. It's a passed ball. 17, nothing happens. Buck. 5-1, column 5, row 1. Ground ball to Gonzalez. He'll make the play, and that's the ball game. As the Cleveland Indians sweep the Kansas City Royals. Final score, 5-2. No runs, 1 hit, no error, and the Royals will leave 1 stranded. Final line score coming right up. So the Cleveland Indians defeat the Kansas City Royals 5-2. Kansas City, Cleveland, 5 runs, 14 hits, and 1 error. Royals, 2 runs on 11 hits and no error. Cliff Lee will pick up his second win, and Brian Bannister still will pick up his 4th loss. Kelly Stoppage hits his 2nd home run of the replay. Take a look at the stats here. Cliff Lee picks up the win. 7 1/3 innings, allowed 10 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and ERA of a 4.28. Jensen Lewis should be credited with the save here. He went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit and 1 strikeout, an ERA of a 2.91. Brian Bannister picks up the loss. He went 5 innings, 5 1/3 innings, allowed 11 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 home run, and an ERA of a 6.99. Joe Palatra, who went last pitcher up for the Royals, he went 1 inning, allowed 1 strikeout, an ERA of a 4.10, and Jensen Lewis, who went 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 strikeout, an ERA of a 2.91. So that's going to do it for us here at Kauffman Stadium, as the Indians now have now an 8-game winning streak. They will improve to 15-7, and the Kansas City Royals will drop to 8-14. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a thumbs up on your way through the turnstiles here at Kauffman Stadium. And remember to click the bell to be notified of when new videos in the 2008 replay go up, and when I go live with all of the Philadelphia Phillies games. Until then, I'm Scooney007. We'll see you for another exciting game in the 2008 replay with Inside Pitch. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.